Okay, so hopefully the stream is a little more stable now. I don't know what's going on. So we're back. So we're creating our card here. So the card, I believe, all cards will probably just work based off gameplay effects, because gameplay effects can have like a duration and stuff like that associated with them. So we'll do GE underscore evasive or GE card evasive fireball. I gotta figure out naming conventions for this stuff too before we kind of mass create these things. But so duration, yeah, 10 seconds. Might be long, but it'll be good for now. And then the ability we're going to grant, it's going to be this GA fireball. Oops. That one. Cancel ability immediately, yeah. The task should automatically end when the ability ends. So yeah, we have this card. So now we have DT player cards. Let me do this. So card underscore 06. And we're gonna call this fireball. Say here. So turn into or just engulfed in flames during dodge. And it's a ability card, and we're just gonna add this. So that should hopefully be enough. Now we need to, there's these card things, ability set, then there's card data. So we'll say, evasive modifier cards. Again, I don't know if I need all these data asset. Ah! What happened? There we go. Data cards. Evasive fireball. Because yeah, then this literally just kind of references the card itself. This seems kind of useless, but it's fine. And then I think in my player state, I have my deck manager component, and here are my cards. Let's add a new card. And yeah, evasive fireball. In theory, should see a behavior change. So fireball, so I'm going to dodge, and it's our roll. And then I'm going to activate fireball, and then yeah. So nothing really happens. I think it's because it's on input triggered. So I kind of have to map it somehow. So if I remember right, it's mapped in this ability set. We have these native ones and gameplay effects attribute set. So GA dodge, right? And it's based off input native action, this, right? And then we also have what? It's not IMC, it's IC something, right? Native actions. And yeah, we have tagged input actions and then tagged ability actions. So I don't know if I'll need to override. Yeah, okay, so we got input native action, evade, and then we have this one as well. So maybe it's not as easy as I had hoped. Unless So yeah, let me put an activate. Let me put a what's the word? Add breakpoint. Yeah. So nothing happens then. Nothing happens there. So I wonder, can I ability trigger native input action evade? So I might have to reverse engineer how I did the setup there. Yeah, still nothing. Unless the card itself too needs to do something. Because I can also, for example, if I got rid of that, if I do ability activate on spawn, we should get it as soon as I grant the thing, which I don't. Oh, okay. Maybe I'm doing something wrong. So here's our fireball. Okay, so it's doing, oh, okay. I'm doing the wrong card. So fireball. So now it should. Breakpoint does. Great. So from event. Event. So event activate from event. Event activate from event. Curious if this will do anything. Fireball and nothing. We'll have to reverse engineer this thing because yeah, in the gas course gameplay abilities set. So let's find that. We haven't looked at this in a while. I'll have to see what needs to happen. So we have add handles, take from ability system, give to ability system. So ability to grant, assign active slot. So active ability tag, get dynamic spec source tags. What is the spec source tags? Is it me? I don't think this is going to be right, but let's see. Yeah, still not correct. So I wonder how it would be the best to handle it. I guess we would also have to look at our IC, so our input config, right? What's it called? So gas course input config. Define tagged ability action. So it's not really doing anything. Buffered action. Oh, yeah, I have to remind myself how this works. Oh, stream issues again. Let's start from the player and reverse engineer this thing. Character, player, character. Simulate input action, player input component, unpossessed. Do that, initialize camera, and then back. So maybe it's under initialize ability system. Do all this, and then we do this. And yeah, we give to ability system, and we do this. Grant, we get the abilities, activate this. Ability to grant a default object. Then we also have to look at the input mapping stuff, right? So there should be, yeah, the bind ability actions one. So check input config, blah, blah, blah. So, tagged ability actions. Trigger event, trigger completed. Don't want to cool down on this thing either. Just to kind of prove this, let's replace dodge with this one just to make sure. So we do that, right? So we go boom. So this is our fireball, right? Works as you'd expect, right? But we need to figure out how to properly override it. So let's put dodge back in. How I would imagine it is, we do it in a very similar way as like this. I'm not sure. Another option is to, activate it on spawn and, wait for some sort of input as well, which maybe could work. But, but the tricky thing is I would want the gameplay effect that grants it to handle it. Maybe I need to make my own version of grant abilities. Maybe that would work. We could try that. So let's find this grant abilities one. Yeah, this one. No. So grant abilities, so it should be a component. View abilities gameplay effect component. I get, well, maybe.